So you might be thinking, how do I actually live from this? Meaning, how do I accept my desires all day without slipping back into my mind and getting in the way of my manifestation? And maybe you're thinking, well, I've been told this is too passive. I need to do something actively, like rewiring with affirmations or I am statements, or otherwise I'll fall back into old programming, right? So let's slow this way down to just see what's going on, right? Because I know what you're really asking. You're not just asking, how do I accept my desires all day? You're really asking, can I trust that just being is enough? Can I trust that this simplicity will carry me throughout the day without needing to constantly micromanage or discipline my mind? And you've probably heard this before, but you got to think from it all day, stay in the state, affirm, decide, catch every thought. And that sounds helpful at first until you're 4 hours in, mentally exhausted, trying to hold a perfect mental image in your mind while doing laundry and answering texts and healing your inner child and eating a salad and deciding, trying to choose the right thing. And then it feels like a chore. And you start wondering if you're doing it right. You start feeling like maybe you are the problem. You start feeling like you need to try harder. But what if you didn't need to hold anything? What if it's not about holding a state, but about clearly seeing again and again and again, clearly seeing? What if it's not about never losing the feeling, but returning home to yourself every time you forget or overlook? And let's try it right now. Just take a deep breath, right? Just take a deep breath. Instead of trying to accept your desire all day and be like, oh, I'm accepting it. That's just a fancy way of affirming. Ask yourself right now, pause. Am I aware of the sound? Say yes. Am I aware of being aware? Say yes. And then right now, without the story, without the thought, ask yourself, is there anything missing? Feel free to write this down, pause and play with this. And now bring the desire to your mind, right? Whatever, the money, love, home, whatever it is. And just notice it without trying to feel something special. Ask yourself, is this desire actually separate from me? Or is it appearing within this awareness? And that's it. Don't try to fixate on these questions. That's the real acceptance, not repeating it 22 times with a smile, not forcing yourself to believe it with gritted teeth. But seeing that this desire, it's already a part of what you are. It's not outside. It's not waiting to be created. It's already expressing itself through you right now. Play with the questions. Don't force a feeling. Return to yourself. And then you might be thinking, well, what about action? Okay. And here's where most people trip up. They think this whole thing means never doing anything again. Like you'll just float on a cloud, never send a message, never go on a date, never update the resume, never buy the plane ticket. But the thing is, you still live, you still move, you still do stuff. It just no longer comes from the belief of, if I don't do this, I won't get my desire. Action becomes effortless, like an afterthought almost. Sending a message doesn't feel like chasing. Applying for a role doesn't feel like proving your worth. Going out, meeting a person, talking to a stranger doesn't feel like trying to find love or the right job opportunity. It just feels normal, light. sometimes even insignificant. But those small natural movements, that's how it all unfolds. That's how your desire unfolds. And I know you like these examples. So here's a super simple example. One client of mine said, well, I used to script and affirm every night that I'd have amazing friendships, right? And it got so exhausting. But one day I paused, sat in the backyard and just asked, like, am I aware? Or noticing that she's awareness. She didn't try to feel loved. She didn't try to visualize a group of friends. She just noticed what was there and let awareness be enough. And a week later, she ended up casually joining a new class at the gym, not because she forced herself, not because she was taking aligned action, but because it felt natural. She was going to stay just focused on the gym. And she met a friend who introduced her to a whole new group. It just happened. And they were the group she was looking for. It just happened like she turned a corner, like she was blinking, like breathing. And that's what I mean when I say you don't take action to get the thing. The action flows from the being. It's flowing anyway. You're watching this video, that's action. So you don't have to plan it. You don't have to pre-approve it with the world, with the universe. You don't have to label it as manifesting step 3, taking action. So what do you do practically? And here is your rhythm. You start your day with a pause, right? Asking yourself, well, am I aware? What's already here just before my thoughts or even without my thoughts? Not to get somewhere, but just to begin from home. And bring your desire to your mind now, not to get it, but to notice there's no resistance when you're resting as awareness, your true nature or God self. The names mean the same. And if resistance arises, don't argue with it. Don't fix it. Don't affirm over it or decide over it. Just pause again and ask yourself, who is noticing this thought? Who is the one who notices? Is awareness touched by this fear? See the truth. It's not touched by this fear. Do I have to believe this to act? Ask yourself that. Can I return to being the one who simply sees? And then you live your day. You let action rise from the seeing. Let decisions come from ease, not urgency. And let movements be natural, not managed. This is not you being passive. You're being powerful in the quietest and most effective way. And if anyone tells you that you're not doing enough, and I'm sure you'll hear it at some point, right? Remind them that you're not here to do, you're here to be. And from being, everything flows. So no, don't try to accept your desires all day long. Just accept this moment. And then the next. And the next. And that's how your whole life transforms. Without a fight, without a checklist, without trying to make it work. Just being. Using any of the guided pauses and letting life meet you there. It's nothing fancy. You've been doing this all your life anyway. But you're just recognizing who you truly are more consciously. And if you need one-on-one help, you can see my coaching in the link in bio or in the description. And I know if you want to relax the fixer self, check out my Unwind course. And for seeing that you and your desires are not separate, I have the Weightless Experience. And I would love to see what your insights are in the comments below. I will talk to you there.